Hello to everybody on YouTube, I'm Chris Wing and welcome to Review For You, with yet another new opening that I promise will last longer than 2 episodes. Today we're taking a look at an action blockbuster sequel 20 years in the making, with Independence Day Resurgence.
It's the 4th of July, so let's show them some fireworks. Hold on!
They like to get the landmarks.
Roland Emmerich returns to the director's chair for the sequel to his biggest hit, with a follow-up that feels long overdue but not necessarily long awaited. Liam Hemsworth, Jesse Usher, Micah Monroe, Celia Ward and Brent Spiner are among the core group of new actors, with Jeff Goldblum, Bill Pullman and Judd Hirsch reprising their roles from the previous film. The premise for the second installment is pretty much the same as the first. 20 years after their defeat, the aliens are plotting to come back bigger and more advanced for another invasion on Earth, and it's up to mankind's space defenses to take them down. The original Independence Day is hardly a great film objectively, foregoing scientific realism and accuracy for lots of explosions, corny dialogue and American patriotism. But it's an undeniable classic of 90s action cinema, one of the most memorable and iconic films of its genre, and while very much a product of its time, it's still very entertaining. Unfortunately, the same cannot be said for its sequel, as even by dumb popcorn entertainment standards, Independence Day Resurgence is a real letdown. Returning to play scientist, computer expert, and environmental activist David Levinson, Jeff Goldblum is, well, Jeff Goldblum. As expected, his unique speech pattern and other quirks are all present in his performance. I wouldn't want a Goldblum performance any other way though, and it is nice to see him back along with Pullman and Hirsch. It's a shame that Will Smith sits this picture out, but I honestly don't know how or if it would have been any better or worse if he were included. In fact, the contributions from the returning players and the essence of nostalgia that they bring to this sequel are really the main things holding it together, as the new actors just aren't strong or compelling enough to carry the film by themselves. Liam Hemsworth hardly makes for an engaging protagonist, but his co-stars Usher and Monroe are generally fairly dull and forgettable as well. The script is as much to blame though, as it not only gives little in the way of depth or intriguing personalities to the characters, it also fails to provide them with any convincing dynamics. We learn early on that Hemsworth and Usher have a tense disliking for each other after a reckless, near-fatal incident between them occurred during flight training years prior to the main events. But despite this little backstory, it's hard to believe that the two really know each other, or that there's any semblance of history between them. Because of this, when they are sent on their mission to wipe the aliens out, it's difficult to feel all that concerned about whether or not the outcome is successful for them. As expected, the film is a terrific visual spectacle, featuring a plentiful amount of sequences loaded with explosions and great special effects. But that's all it really is, a spectacle. While I'll give it credit for sprinkling some humour throughout the story that prevents it from taking itself too seriously, nearly every attempt to execute a joke either falls flat or feels phoned in and recycled. There's even a scene where Hemsworth tries to replicate the famous punching an alien in the face moment from the original, and it really doesn't work. Meanwhile, the scatterbrained narrative is far more convoluted than necessary, and features nothing truly memorable or imaginative. So while ID42 is 25 minutes shorter than its predecessor, it somehow feels like a longer film. And although grander with its scale and special effects, it actually feels like a smaller and considerably less ambitious experience. Things finally start to ramp up in the final act though, as the movie starts to redeem itself with an exciting, action-packed showdown between the American heroes and some badass looking aliens. These scenes are definitely worth sticking around for, but it's still unfortunate that before then, the movie doesn't really have much else to offer. As a Roland Emmerich production, I wasn't expecting anything deep or profound, but as a belated sequel to what was once the second biggest film of all time, I definitely expected something a lot more satisfying. Independence Day Resurgence is never outright terrible and has some fun moments, but overall it's a woefully bland disappointment that really wasn't worth waiting 2 decades for. And I can only score it a 5 out of 10. And that's the review for you on Independence Day Resurgence. I really wanted to like this one more, but it was just really underwhelming for me. I'd love to know what you thought though if you saw it, so please feel free to leave your thoughts in the comments. And please be sure to subscribe to my channel and follow me on Facebook and Twitter, links in the description, if you would like to keep up to date with my work. Until next time, I'm Chris Wing, and thank you for watching Review For You.